All right, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, Target Individual Experience, Target Individual Programming. What a day. Look. Tell you, I can always tell when they're doing synchronization. Look at her, folding her lip. All right, folding her lip. All right, now, synchronization, you start to see them using young females, right, or honey traps, or to try to insinuate they're going to use them to make false accusations and so forth, right? I say go ahead. Like I said, I don't run from it. I'm going to confront it, right? Because they are the liars, manipulators, and deceivers. Also today, my daughter, I see her she had a phone in her hand all day since I've been there. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm giving her things, saying her to do things, she's on her phone. So I took her phone just to look and see what she's up to. Some boy is texting her, talking about I love you and calling her bae. I had to tell her, I said, listen, you need to check these boys, all right? You're 12 years old. They shouldn't be calling you bae. They shouldn't be telling you I love you. So again, so I went to Pam and I said to her, look at the shit that your daughter, look at the conversation. Look at what this person is saying to our daughter. And she's like, yeah, that's great. I'm like, pay attention to your daughter. Pay attention to your children. But of course you don't, because she liked to promote that shit. She's the one, when Ethan was 13 years old, told him it's okay for him to go on a date with some girl that she doesn't even know, that I don't even know their parents, or her parents I should say, but she tells him it's okay. These are the things that when black people talk about the Negropean mindset and the adultifying of our children. And listen, as a young boy, not growing up with a father in the home, with your mother working all the time, you get into trouble. You don't get into some mischief, right? Some of us got into more serious trouble, others did not. But this is a different time. You hear the sirens? This is a different time. Okay? They're not listen, they have weaponized our children, our young men and women, us as older, middle-aged people, men and women, even the older men and women, right? Because of cognitive warfare. And because we refuse to want to learn about cognitive warfare, we remain highly ignorant. Yeah, here the pussies. Yeah. The one thing, like I said, right, having a father that's involved and that's there, is that you understand. These women today, they don't understand, they don't care. They think it's cute that their 12-year-old children have boyfriend and girlfriends. They think that shit is cute, right? This is the shit that they promote, right? This is the shit that they promote. And when you, as a father, as a black man, try to correct your children, try to teach them something, they don't like it. That's the reason why they remove fathers in the home. Because you see, even for men who as children grew up in a certain harsh way, when they have children, whether they're girls or boys, they try to make their children make better decisions for the most part. There are some of our brothers out there who just want to repeat the same cycle to their children. But for the most part, most black men don't want to do that. They don't want their children to repeat their mistake. But for our women, it's the total opposite. Our women don't want their children to do better than them, particularly the boys, right? And they will push their girls to take out all these loans for college, but don't guide them in terms of what career field that they should be in, right? They leave it up to their children. And no, you can't. As a parent, you have to guide your children. You got to look at the job market and look at what field that you see that if they go to school and paying all this money.
Yeah, where's Schenectady? Church in Schenectady.
You gotta wait. Yeah, that way.
Good. That's it. Oh,
yeah. I tell you, they'll always send them, man. They will always send them. You know what I'm saying? You know, but anyhow, I'm just going to show you guys exactly what it is that they do. So again, because I corrected my daughter in this, I also called this child. I called her number and I'm like, listen, don't be telling my daughter stuff like that. And I asked her, where's your parents? Where's your parents? I want to speak to your parents. Because you see, not only am I concerned about my children, but I'm concerned about any child at that age telling another child they love them and calling them babe. Okay? That's what I do. Look. the American flag. All right, so where did he go? Where did he go? Was that him over? I'm not sure if that's him. But anyhow, right? So tomorrow when I go to Illicit school, I'm going to, I said tomorrow when I go to Illicit school, use the sirens, I'm going to speak to the teacher and I'm going to ask if I can speak to his parents, and we're going to have a sit down, and because, you know, I gotta let them know, listen, you know, if your son is saying these type of things at that age, right, to a female child, okay, because they're both children, you know, I said, I am going to correct my daughter. You need to correct your son, okay? I told my daughter, I said, you can be friends with boys. The minute they talk about they love you and calling you babe, you need to check them. Tell them you're just friends and you're a child, okay? We want to adultify our children because we are conditioned to do that, right? And as a man, as a father, when you try to correct your children, they don't like it. They don't like it. So, like I said, Negro Pin's gonna have to wake up. Are we gonna repeat the past? Are we gonna let our children repeat the past? Or are we gonna teach them better so they can do better? Because you see, when you don't teach your children anything, not only will they become a detriment to themselves, but also to your children, okay? That is the part of which our community do not quite understand. Because you see, we love to blame each other, right? We love to blame each other. I'll wait for the next one. We love to blame each other, right? Because we don't want correction. And we don't want to correct anybody because we don't want them to correct us. And when I say corrected, I mean you speak to somebody with respect and you try to teach them better. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Show some concern. Show some care. Right? Put your pants up, man. I want to see your underwear. Put your pants up. How old are you? Looking ridiculous. Looking grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? Right? So, I'll wait for the next question. You know? But yeah. Right? So we don't talk to each other to correct each other. We talk to each other to do things to each other because we don't see ourselves in each other's eyes. There is no love there. So when I look at my brothers and sisters, I look at them with love and I'll tell them, listen, like you walk by, I'm like, put your damn pants up, come on. You're a grown-ass man, you're looking ridiculous. Right? What kind of shit is that? And then, you know, you have these women talk about these European men on the DL. Well, but you're walking with them with their pants hanging halfway down their ass or below their ass. Right? You know what I'm saying? So come on. You know? That's what I'm saying. I don't, you know, when we have to understand cognitive warfare, psychological conditioning, brainwashing. We must understand these things. It's imperative. It is imperative. But in order to do that, you have to know what it is. right? We have our phone in our hand, but we rather watch nonsense. You know, like, look, there are times I get home and I'm watching some videos that just make me laugh out loud. Because sometimes I need it. But most of my time when I spend watching videos is getting information, right? Correct information. By the way, my ice pick headache came back again today in a very severe way. I took one of my headache medicine, but right now the back of my neck, my head, it is sharp pain. Whenever I raise my head up, I have a sharp pain in the back of my head. And again, right? But anyhow, as I was saying, right? So we don't want to. We don't want to look at pulling her braids, right? Again, I want you guys to see the signals that they do, right? So we don't do that. You know, we don't do that. It's funny how we listen to people that will tell us how to raise our children, and the way they tell us how to raise our children is a detriment to our children. Right? We see that. You know, I've seen videos where you have children who are white smacking their mothers, kicking their mothers, right? And their mother is literally like trying to get their child off of them, but because they don't want to spank his little ass or their little asses, you know, because again, when you do that, you are instilling within your child that as they grow up, that they can hit women, right? Because again, the mothers don't do anything. That's why, like I said, that's why fathers are so important. Except, you know, when it comes to Negro females, they don't understand or realize the seriousness of how fathers are, the importance of fathers. They don't. They downplay it. You know, so they'll write articles like, you know, children don't really need fathers and shit like that, right? While ignoring all the statistics, right? While ignoring all the negative outcomes of children raised in household headed by women. And that goes for all households. But for our people and for our women, right, it's worse off. But you can't tell them nothing. You know, so when I went to Pam and her thing was like, okay, you know, she didn't go speak to Alyssa about it. Nothing like that. She's been on the phone all day, except for when she wanted to come into the living room and, you know, engage in targeting me, right? And I left around 8:30. So as I was leaving at 8:30 now, she now decided that she's gonna go cook dinner. You know, but it's a good thing I made the kids lunch. And then they woke up there. I got here like around 1 o'clock and they were still sleeping. Which, you know, again, right? So there you go. And I got it there, make them breakfast, and I made them lunch. And like I said, so by the time she's finished cooking, it's after 9. Kids got to eat. You know, they bathe already, so which is good. But, you know, like I said, you know, then she's not concerned. And I told her, I said, look, number 32 again. 532. And I said to her, look, you got to pay attention to your daughter, okay? Ridiculous. What are you doing? Look at
Cecilia! And I said a tree. He came up with smile. And I said never.
Church on New Rogers Avenue.
And I said a tree. And I said what? He came up with smile. You want the free? And I said never. Hey, how, Mom?
This stop is Church Avenue and Rogers Avenue.
That's it. Yes. Pero, ¿por qué tú te vas? Bien, ¿y tú? Muy bien, entonces, ¿y tú? No puedo salir. Necesito. El Salvador. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Señor. Y aquí el busto, Señor. Espérate, Señor.
You need to come sit down there, miss. Come sit down right there. Sorry.
Next stop, Church Avenue and Nostrum Avenue. Transfer is available to the 2 train. Please for SBS. Please exit through the rear door.
Yo, what's up, bro? I'm fucking bro. I'm not black, bro. No, you don't know me, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm so, bro. You don't know I'm black because you don't know me, bro. I'm a stepper. Stepper. Yo, oui, on est pour ça, je peux pas là, mon gars là, c'est ça là, c'est moi, je suis haïtien, non, c'est ça là. Look at my family.
This stop is Church Avenue and Nostrum Avenue.
Look at my family. Look at my family. Look at my PlayStation. Look at my shit.
Let me get off and then. Ma'am, hold on. Let him.
Huh? What do you want?
They're trying to jump in the thing.
Oh, I know.
You don't want to come in?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Did you see how she tried to give me the middle finger? The white woman? Right?
Good.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Please exit through the rear door.
She got off
Church Avenue and York Avenue.
So she got off the bus because she had to get up to the seat because the guy in the wheelchair picked her up making the U-turn. Right? Shining his light on the license plate N56 UZ. Hilarious. So anyhow, I was gonna say, so she got off the bus because she couldn't sit down anymore. Because the guy came in on a wheelchair.
I get to know.
So she rather stand out there for how long, wait for another bus, as opposed to staying on this bus. See the mindset? So anyhow, yeah, so the New York Predators Department, again, showing you guys what it is that they do. There's subliminals.
I didn't know you
I said bring it. Anytime.
This stop is Church Avenue in Manhattan.
Yes, sir. Another great vehicle.
I see the only one stuff there. I get the money in the sun.
Let's see how it rolled in there.
Please exit from the rear door. Next stop, Church Avenue in Brooklyn Avenue.
6642. I got the number K and number T. Make a deal now.
This stop is Church Avenue in Brooklyn Avenue. Please exit through the rear door. Next stop, Church Avenue and East 38th Street. This stop is Church Avenue and East 38th Street. Next stop, Church Avenue and East 42nd Street. Please exit through the rear door. Please exit through the rear door. Next stop, Church Avenue and Torrey Avenue. This stop is Church Avenue and Torrey Avenue.
All I know is that I like an hour and a half.
Hear me now.
You feel like you're red?
Please exit
Well, I know
through
you're
the
red,
rear
but
door.
like, can you?
Next stop, Church Avenue and East 48th Street.
I mean, if y'all expose it, then I don't see why. Do you have to find it tomorrow? What time? Girl, go home. Go home. When have you cared about a mama? Alright then. What if he looked at you with some eyes and was like, yes, that guy?
This stop is Church Avenue and East 48th Street.
I gotta tell you something.
Please exit through the rear door.
What? You already know. I was just waiting to tell you. Because I told him don't tell you because I wanted to tell you myself. I'm at this house right now.
Next stop, Church Avenue and Utica Avenue. Transfer available to 46 SPS.
Danny already knows I'm not
This stop is Church Avenue and Utica Avenue.
Good enough?
Thank you.
All right, man, have a good night. All right, be careful. All right.
Thank you, driver.
So, go and look at the type of vehicle, the color. Well, actually, not just have a vehicle, but the color of the vehicle. So, it's a color gray. So, oh yeah.
East 52nd Street.
So you open the vehicle, open the car door. That's all enough to go in front of the vehicle right here. The signs that says stop on it. Alright, so G99 WNY. Alright, that's the subliminal. And I have Florida plates. AV0 BHV AV0 BHV. Yep. So, see what happens.
Please exit through
Open
the
this
rear
door, close this door, swerve behind the vehicle right here. Alright, and your present officers in the background.
This stop is
Sorry.
Church Avenue and East 52nd Street.
Big man, you get it out? Hello? Get it out?
Oh, you get it? Okay. All right.
Please exit through the rear door. Next stop, Church Avenue and East 56th Street.
Blocking these streets. Get the license plate.
This stop is Church Avenue and East 56th Street.
Excuse me. Just.
Please exit through the rear door. Next stop, Church Avenue and Kings Highway. Transfer available to B7.
Very good. Yeah. bus driver. That's the gray vehicle pulled out in front of him and turned the corner. Right, he looks at me and covered his mouth with his hands. So I yawned and eating peanuts. See, when you expose their ass, they'll call you crazy and talk about the symbolism and the things that they do. That's what they do. That's how they try to get. That's how they get away with it. What it is that they do. So I was trying to get away with it with me, but it's not happening. It's not happening. Right, red vehicle come out of McDonald's. Gray vehicle. Another red vehicle behind it.
This stop is Church Avenue and Kings Highway.
So when she got on the bus, she came and she was still, she was in front of me when she came to the side of me. Looked at my phone and then she literally grabbed her purse. Ridiculous.
Next
Yeah,
stop,
they're part of the
Church
problem.
Avenue and Wilson Avenue.
Using the sirens in the
Transfer
background.
available to B17, B47 and B8. This stop is Church Avenue and Wilson Avenue.
Thank you. Have a good night. Can you load the bus down for me, please? Thank you. See this shit? I mean, I'll tell you, but anyhow, water, let me tell you. I gotta laugh because, you know, they think that they're gonna get away with it, the gray vehicle. Right? So they think they're gonna get away with what it is that they're doing and it happens. Now I'll see you over there, you know, putting your hands over your mouth as the red vehicle, the red car turn. See that? One right here, with the black t-shirt. Right? So when I talk about the shit they just do, man. Oh, now you leaving? Look, now you leaving, right? See? Came out to the front right there, put her hands over her mouth as the red car was turning. As I'm walking across the street, she turns back around and walk in the direction that I was walking in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the shit that they do, man. You know, and then the bus driver is hilarious. You know, the gray, I talk about the use of the gray vehicles, so you're gonna see a lot of gray vehicles tonight. And I'm showing you guys along the way. As you can see, hear the sirens. Look, all right? So you hear the sirens, and what you're gonna always say what's gonna happen is gonna be followed by a red vehicle, right? You hear the sirens? So the bus driver put his hands over his mouth, and so I yawned, and then he started putting peanuts in his mouth. Oh yeah, the more you expose them is the more they try to discredit you and using psychiatry to do it. I know. I've shown you guys this over and over and over. They continue to weaponize psychiatry against us. And here's the thing, they have us weaponizing psychiatry against each other. All right? So, again, it is what it is that they do and how they do it. And the New York Predator Department, they are the enforcers for those in the alphabet agencies who are conducting cognitive warfare on the American public, non-consensual human experimentation on us targeted victims or targeted individuals, right? Yeah, New York Fecal Department. I should say the Fecal Department of New York, ambulance, right? But this is what they do. And when you expose them for the decades of covert warfare, particularly those of us who they attack based on our bloodline, our family, who our family is, right? You need to understand what it is that they're doing, because it could happen to your family. It may be already happening to your family, you may not even realize it or know it. So like I said, the same needs to be done to their family, or their families. Whatever they, fuck you, using your sirens, you don't like that, right? Okay, so stop doing it, all right? Then it won't be, then hopefully it won't be done to your family. But as long as you keep doing it to me and others, it will be done to your family as well. Thank you for acknowledging that. Anyhow, but yeah, and then that woman came on and she just stood aside me staring at my phone, and she just grabbed her breast. And then the other woman, there was the other woman, when the police vehicle drove, it's either one of the incidents that happened, either with the police vehicle or with that gray vehicle that the driver opened his car door and closed it, and then he didn't drive straight. He literally swerved as if he was going into the parking space, but he didn't, so he can get behind the vehicle, and the vehicle had decal over it. And it had stop all over, like, with the fire department. I talk about what they used to do. How, whenever I would go somewhere, the fire department would always be there. I said the New York Fecal Department would always be there. And as soon as they see me, they will come out of their fire trucks, right? And they will open the door. And when they open the door, there is the stop sign inside of that door, right? This is what they were doing. So, and this, like I said, this is going on for over 2 decades. My brother over 3 decades. My other brother for 4 decades, since the late 1980s. He didn't understand what was happening to him. We all didn't. But I do know. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I do know. All right? So when I say I know, they'll start using their sirens. Yeah, I do know. Look. Uh-oh, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? New York Predator Department in the unmarked police vehicle. Gray silver unmarked police vehicle. All right, let's go. So as I say, when Pam woke up, she I know what she was doing. So she woke up. Ethan wanted to take a bath because I had to use the bathroom. So Ethan, I said, let me know when you are finished. So he said, I just got to put on my clothes. I said, okay, fine. So then she calls me and she's like, Ethan is finished. So I waited, right? Because I know how Ethan is sometimes, right? So I waited about 4 or 5 minutes. I waited. And then as I got up and I'm going into the bathroom, to the foyer, she comes towards me. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I said, I was coming to use the bathroom, right? So why are you standing there waiting for me to come, and then all of a sudden you see me coming, and you want to come and step in my way? Right? You know what I'm saying? And of course, she's wearing all black, right? So, yeah, fuck you. You're a Predator Department. Look at that. Yeah. So she comes and she just like, I said, Pamela, can you move up my way, please? Oh, why don't you move? So I told her, I said, why don't you put your dick up? Put your dick up. So when I said that, she stepped back. And, she was like, that's misogynistic. I said, no, it's not. You trying to challenge me, as if you can challenge me. You can't challenge me physically. You can't challenge, you know what I'm saying? Just because I have a disability doesn't mean that you can challenge me. Right? You know what I'm saying? So they have her into this masculine mindset. Right? And then I come out, as I was saying that, my thumb involuntarily stuck up. 33924, Connecticut plates. BH, I can't remember the other number. But you know, my fingers, my thumb just involuntarily went up like this, right? So this is my thumb, it went up like this. All right, and then as soon as the gray vehicle made the turn. So anyhow, so I'll go back into the living room. She's there, right? And all of a sudden now she's acting like she's cleaning, right? So she's acting like she's cleaning. She grabbed a broom and started sweeping around my son's computer desk, right? And then she comes and she starts bending over in front of me. Look, right? Well, I see the fecal department of New York. Look, which way they turning, right? Look, see the subliminals, right? So the police vehicle went that way, and they turned that way afterwards. And what happened afterwards? My thumb involuntarily went up. It's all about hijacking my consciousness to control my motor skills as the gray vehicle turned this way. All right, and then what happened? It was an unmarked vehicle first, and then there's the blue and white New York Predators Department vehicle using the siren, right? Again, I have to explain these things because I want you guys to understand not only the pervasiveness of the surveillance, the harassment, right? And like I said, I started getting my ice pick headache, and right now, as I'm talking, that headache is that pressurized feeling that I get with a slight headache that's coming on. But anyhow, as I was saying, so she started like bend over in front of me, you know, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, here. And what did I show you guys today, right? That dude, was it today? It might have been today. Bending over in front of me, the red vehicle, right? Bending over in front of me, right? So, you know, she started doing that, and I'm looking at her like, come on, you know what I'm saying? I said, what's wrong with you? I said, you see me I'm watching a movie, right? All of a sudden now you want to come and clean. And here's the thing, she didn't clean. She just swept around my son's desk. I swept by the rug, right, just so she could bend over in front of me. And then she's finished. She walks up. You know where she left the room? She left the dustpan and the broom right on the floor. Right on the floor. With, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, come on, like, you know, like seriously, you know, like I said, I have to like shake my head because the shit that they have her doing doesn't make any sense, right? We're talking about mind control here. We're talking about using implants, BCI, right? Silent sound spectrum, radio wave, microwave frequency to control our minds and our motor skills. And like I tell them, I'm going to expose what it is that they're doing. And I'm going to do it in such a way that they can, as much as they want to use psychiatry against me and psychiatric labeling, I'm going to prove it.
Hello, customers.
Another Florida plate. See? Part association. Alright? Psychological conditioning. I should say person persuasion program. retirees from time to time because Florida is a safe haven for predator cops. When they retire, they go to Florida. And Florida is a safe haven for these crooked bastards, these racist bastards. Sure, man.
Please exit through the rear door.
Getting up for the next stop, sir? Sir?
Talking to me?
Getting up for the next stop?
No.
So you have to have a seat, sir, because when this close truck,
Huh?
you're gonna fall down.
I don't need to have a seat. I'm good.
Okay.
See, when that shit don't work out, what do they do? Yeah, start saying shit. Shit that don't make no damn sense. You got that small meeting or something. Very low frequency to bypass the mic on the phone so you guys won't hear it. But you might get a faint a faint sound on the side. So this is what you have. Particularly right? If you listen, what do you call those sound isolation headphones? You might hear it. Okay. Oh, so noise is yeah, but I see you don't hear anything on the other side of the mic. Let's see.
Please exit through the rear door.
This is KK something 7321. Oh, it says KKW 7321. Yeah, so I say KKW. Use the sirens. Not a coffee. So yeah, KKW 732 vehicle All right, thank you. Have a good night. All right, so like I said, whenever this shit don't work out, right? They're trying to scare me or try to whatever subliminal message that they're sending me, you know, I expose it. And like I tell them, my purpose is greater than theirs. All right, and like I said, they're gonna find out though, you know, because when you look up the dark triad personality trait, particularly when they're in position of authority, and what it is they do, the criminality that they engage in, because they are of a criminal mind. And you know, when you find criminals who become predator police officers or predator law enforcement officers, right? They commit all sorts of crimes, and they use that position to shield themselves and each other. So when you look at the high ups in the gray vehicle, right? So when you see that, you know, particularly how police department, the hand signal, I'm doing the same thing too. Right, so when you see in the police department these officers, these predator officers, their behavior is criminal and they are shielded and protected because the leadership positions is also criminal. That's why they will not hold each other and themselves accountable. And I'm not going to say it happens all the time, right? But it's very rare that you have police officers holding each other accountable, because when you do, if you're a good police officer and you hold the bad ones accountable, you know, they end your career, right? They destroy your career. And so it becomes very difficult. And like I said, it's very hard for people to, you know, want to do what's right when they try to do what's right and their career gets destroyed. They get canceled for doing what's right. And they see those that are doing bad get rewarded. All right? And it's not to say that they are ignorant of it. They're in a position which determine whether they can take away a person's freedom, a person's life. They can seriously injure a person to disrupt their life and their livelihood. All right? But they don't care because, again, that gun and that badge, all right, and their dark triad personality trait. And you go ahead, like I said, you can go and Google the stuff. Right? You can go and Google dark triads in position of authority in law enforcement. There's a lot of studies on these things. And if you don't understand their personality traits, then, you know, when you interact with them and they start beating your ass for no reason, right? You're going to be shocked, right? But the best way to prepare and defend yourself is to know the law and to know what type of personality traits they have. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.